Hi, my name's Laura Batante, and this is my YouTube channel, My Two Bits. Thanks for joining me today. Today we are going to make these really fun bats with movable wings. And before we get started, I'll just tell you to go to my2bits.ca and download the PDF template. It's free. It will give you the wing and the outer wing, and then just the ears, and then just the piece of black that I used to wrap around. Now, these two are adapted from this one, and I'm not going to give you the instructions for this. I will just tell you that I cut my toilet paper roll down vertically, and then made it a little bit smaller, and then wrapped it and just made the adjustment that way. And I made my ears a little bit thinner, and then I used the same wings. So you totally can still use this and do it yourself. And I did the exact same thing with this guy, except that I made him short, and I actually did make the size of his wings a little bit smaller. But this guy is the one that started it all, and I'm going to show you how I made him. For this guy, you need black cardstock, and you need some purple cardstock. You need a toilet paper roll, and you need some googly eyes. Or again, you can always, I always say, if you don't have googly eyes, don't worry about it. You can cut some out of paper, and you could either have white ones, or you could give him, green eyes, or maybe even purple eyes. And then this is tissue paper. Now, originally, I was going to make this a two-parter craft, and I did coffee filters, which I dyed with felt pens. And this looks very cool. And I will tell you that this is actually probably a smidge easier to work with than the tissue paper, just because it's a little bit more durable. But it does turn it into then a 2-day craft, because you have to do this and then you have to let it dry. But totally fun, and they look really cool. So this guy here has purple tissue paper, easy peasy to find. This happened to be in my recycling bin. It came in a package, and I thought it was really neat, so I used it. But it's, yeah, use whatever tissue paper you can find. And like I said, this purple one is easy to grab from the dollar store. So as I often do, I'm going to cut my toilet paper roll down a little bit, and that's just so that when I'm looking at them, because you tend to look down on them a little bit, I see black instead of toilet paper roll. You don't have to do this. And if you're working with little people and it's easier for them to wrap the whole toilet paper roll, then go for it. You don't have to be hugely neat about this either, because you're really not going to see this portion. Okay, we're going to put that aside, and now we need to cut out some stencil pieces. Well, for this part, when we start gluing, you can decide for yourself whether you want to glue it on, like literally glue the toilet paper roll, or whether you just want to glue the edge. Doesn't matter either way, whatever you like. Okay, and then, as you've probably seen me do before, I'm going to put some paper clips on there to encourage it to dry in place. And I'm actually going to slide my paper roll through a bit more. Support both ends that way. Yeah, so again, like I had said earlier, if you want to just do the toilet paper roll right up to the edge, it might be easier for kids. And if they're not gluing it to the toilet paper roll, you can always just slide the toilet paper roll out after. You know, it's not really necessary to have it in there. You could use it for another project. I'm always reusing them. All right, so we're going to let that guy dry, and we're going to work on the wings. And we go to the template. All right, so this is a little bit tricky, but it's also super forgiving if you don't fold it perfect. So don't be intimidated. I'm going to cut out 2 in one go. And so I'm just getting rid of a little bit of my excess there. It makes it easier to work with. And I'm gonna get rid of some more excess over here, because tissue paper is so thin, it can be a little bit tricky to work with. That's why I said originally I was going to work with the coffee filter, because they are a little bit thicker. So it is just it is a little bit easier to work with. And also it's really fun to paint your own. The key is to just be patient, go slow, and kind of hold it together while you're going. And I will finish this off. So originally I wasn't going to even do this template. I was just going to say, you know, fan fold some tissue paper and cut it, because I thought that this might be a bit tricky. But then I thought that having these little indents and points actually did make it a little easier to do the fan fold. I guess it's kind of a decide for yourself sort of thing. But yeah, you just need a little fan fold. I did it first without a template, obviously, because whenever I'm creating these things, I don't have templates. So I do it, and then I have to create the template after, so then I have to kind of deconstruct. So you see I got a little bit away there from the fold. Thankfully this stuff's pretty forgiving, and like I said, once you get it done and you have the little black wing cover on, you don't really notice it, so it doesn't really matter. So you can see, and we can trim it a little once we get the wing on. It's just so that you can get that effect, which I think is what makes it fun. So for the outside of the wing, which is getting cut out of black cardstock, I'm going to show you what I did for cutting it out. I think it's easier. That's the fold line. So that's how it's going to be when it's done. So I cut it folded because it's just easier. So I just lined it up and went at it with the old scissors, and you don't have to be perfect. So that's one, and I'll show you how that works when we stick the little guys inside there. So like I said, I didn't do a perfect fold. It doesn't matter. We're going to put it in there, and then I'm going to trim this little part at the top, not the black. I'm not cutting the black. So it fits in there nice and neat. So from the side, and then this piece here that's hanging out, I can trim. What you don't want to do is trim it like this, because then you'll put holes in the pleats. So, but you don't notice it anyway, so it doesn't have to be perfect. That's why I said it's a bit fussy, but at the same time, it's not hugely important. It is a little bit important to make sure that you don't glue any of the underneath layers. So just put some glue. Whoa, that's a lot of glue. But, so we're gonna, oh, heavens to Betsy, I tell you, that really got away from me. We're just gonna put that down. And we're really concerned about the front, which is the longer pointy end, looking nice and neat, than we are about the back, which you won't see. And I'm going to give that guy just a hair of a trim too, because why not? Okay, and a little bit of glue here. And because it's tissue paper, it's a bit delicate. So you have to treat it delicately. And then you close that up. And there you go. And then this is when you just check to make sure that you didn't glue any extra stuff together. And there you go, one set of wings. That looks awesome. So I'm going to make the other one and we will stick them on. So I also cut out my ears and I just wanted to, whoa, I lost control of the glue stick. I've got to bat down. Okay, I just want to remind you that, you know, ears are one of the features that you could make changes to and change the look of your bat by doing that. So you could give them little short, kind of wide ears, or you could, you know, change the, just sort of play around with it. You could make, one tall and one shorter, kind of crooked, whatever you like. So now we're going to put on the wings. And so that's why I put the ears on, so that I had the face kind of lined up a reference. I'm going to put glue on both wings at the same time. Now, make sure that your wings are laying opposite when you do that, so that you don't have your wings backwards, right? You want to have, you want them to mirror each other. A little awkward, but we got it. Okay, here we go. And I seem to have lost an ear. Okay, so we're going to just, that's what happens when you don't let the glue dry. Okay, here we go. I think we've got middle. And we're gonna get that ear out too. We will fix that problem in a minute. So I'm just gonna hold this and be slightly more patient than I was with the ears. I do love glue sticks though. They really do stick pretty fast. And there we go. I just love the way they kind of stick out and add a little movement to them. Okay, let's get these back on. This is what happens when I try to do things too quickly, and I'm sure we've all experienced that before. Also, we are working on a curve, which means you have to be a little bit more patient letting stuff dry. Whoopsie. Okay. Love it. Okay, so the only thing that's left is the eyes and the mouth. And I did not include a template for the mouth. And so what I would suggest that you do is grab some paper that would be approximately the size of the space of his face, so like that size, and just play around with it. And if you have some googly eyes, you can put those down. Otherwise, you can sort of draw the googly eyes, right? And then just decide what you want for a mouth. And he should probably have some fangs, but just do whatever you like, but play around a bit. And then when you get one that you like, draw it on here very lightly with a pencil. And then if you have a white gel pen, which is what I used here, you can go over top. Otherwise, you could probably get a really sharp pencil crayon in white and try that. Okay, it's time to pick some googly eyes. And as I did mention earlier, you don't have to use googly eyes. You can draw your eyes on yourself. It's no big deal. I happen to have a fairly good sized collection of googly eyes. So I like them because they're fun. But yeah, like I said, 100% you can draw your own eyes. And then you really have a character that's all your own. I like the 2 different size eyes, so I'm going to do that. Okay, I popped the googly eyes on. I was filming it, but then the glue got away from me, so I did it off camera. The camera happens to be right at my forehead, so it kind of interferes sometimes. But that's okay. All right, so I happen to kind of dislike the big smile, and I'm just gonna test it because sometimes these pens are a little bit difficult. Exhibit A. But what's great about crafts is that they don't have to be perfect. If they were perfect, they would have been made by a machine. And they're not. They're made by you. So they should have a little bit of character to them. So there we go. And I hope you enjoyed this craft. I think he's a lot of fun. And if you tried him with the tissue paper and you liked it, try it with the coffee filters. I think you'll really enjoy that. I hope you enjoyed this, and if you did, then please consider giving me a like, and stay tuned for more fun Halloween crafts.